Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And I am also player number 497. Remember that. And I too don't trust anybody. And yeah, I think player 458 put the box on my desk. I'm just saying.
Hi, my name is Jack, otherwise known as 458. I am your resident game designer of the panel, and I never would have admitted to that. So, uh, I'm not confirming whether or not you can see it in the edit. That's not my problem.
We'll just see.
Uh, but yeah, what an amazing set of episodes, especially considering the first one. I mean, the first four compared to this four, I feel like these four kind of well overtake in terms of entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. I was definitely well entertained throughout the entire time. And we're going to talk all about it. And I'm going to show you my cup mug because I forgot to do that. You can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And if you look right above Jack in the right hand side, there's a QR code. You can scan that. And if you scan it, it'll take you right to the link where you can get your uh, cup mug or any of our other cup merch, including our water bottles. We have cup water bottles.
Ooh.
So check that out as well. Get your cup mug merch, period. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. So wherever you watch Games too, we can get it to you, unless you're in Brazil, and then we have problems.
Yeah, specifically Brazil is an issue. Everywhere
Yeah,
else is fine.
everywhere else is fine. It gets there, but we we are here. We are talking about episodes 5 through 8. We're gonna get all four out the way because Jack, we have a very busy week this week, and we can't not talk about all four of these in one go because
Mm-hmm.
it deserves all four episodes in one. Like it just deserves it for me. I would hate to stop it and give a cliffhanger like they like to give us. I don't want to do that.
They really do have their cliffhangers down in this show of like, oh, okay, just find anyone who is notable for any reason and just like give them a moment where they could be eliminated. Yeah, they'll
Hmm.
be fine. That's where we'll split an episode. As long as we can do that like 7 or 8 times, we're all good for the season.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it works out.
It did work out. It worked out for all involved, and it was entertaining throughout. So I'm not mad. But let's get into episode 5 is where we're going to start the sacrifice because
Hmm.
we left off with each pair pairing up for marbles, and most players just paired up with the person closest to them, their friends, their allies, family members, whatever. And then they instantly regretted it. It was like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I didn't want to do that. But you did. You did it.
You did.
You did it. And it's like, well, Julie, now you have to figure out a game with these marbles to play. And you had, what, 20 minutes to do it?
I want to say it was either 15 or
15 or 20? Something
20.
like that.
Yeah, something like that. I will note only because I did get some interesting insight from some
Mm-hmm.
squids who were on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they genuinely were like done with the game. That wasn't scripted. They
Mm.
genuinely were like, we're not doing this anymore. We're done. So I mean, we saw how interesting Mingle got with
Mm-hmm.
the very physical nature of it.
Yeah.
Mm, It doesn't surprise me that that occurred.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I mean, Jesus Christ. That was a rough game for almost every single person involved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It would have definitely taken its toll for me having to do that every single time and not knowing if I was gonna make it or not knowing if the
Hmm.
person I wanted closest to could make it or not. And it's like, oh, so draining. And to do that, I'm glad that they did that. I'm glad that they chose not to just be like, we're not doing it. We're not doing this anymore, and we're done. And it's funny how we say it worked out. I mean, that they did that, but it felt like it was supposed to be that, because to end it with everybody just pairing up in twos, and it was just like,
Hmm.
well, then here we go. Did they say, oh, well, they're not going to do it, so we'll just throw marbles at them right now? Or was that always the plan?
Based on what we've seen, it definitely seemed like this was the intended plan. They realized they could get a. I mean, the thing I will note before this that makes it seem like a much more solid plan. Uh, Shelley, who had gotten immunity before that game, this isn't shown, but she
Right.
was directly told to select someone else to be safe, and
Mm.
ergo picked her marbles opponent. So
Mm.
this was always the intended outcome of this whole scenario. It was
Okay.
just them getting it down to a number that made sense for
Sense.
them. Because I think I don't know the number. It went from 72 people down to it went from 72, excluding the two players who didn't play the game, down to 44
44.
players.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm wondering if they were like, we could have did one more round and then knock two more people out, and then they went to went to marbles. But because they stopped and was like, we're not doing it, they were like, okay, well, we'll just do it now. We'll just add an extra set of marbles. It's fine.
cool. Good with me.
Cool. That's fine. But they do go play marbles, and everybody is now like, now we have to pick these games and play against each other. We're not gonna go through all 44 people who had to play this game, but we're gonna talk about the notables who they did show, because they didn't show all 44
They
people. We
didn't show
don't know all the
everyone.
44 games that they all played. We know that the father son of Zoe and, oh, what was her dad's name?
Kurt.
Kurt. Yeah, ended up playing tic tac toe. Best two out of three. Tossed the marble into the thing, and they were like, "We're not going to go easy on each other." And he's like, "No, we're not. We're going to play the game to win, and whoever wins stays, and whoever loses goes." So we saw them playing tic tac toe. We saw the other family team of Perla and her brother. He they just was like, we refuse.
Hmm.
We refuse to play. We go take these last. I think it was 20 minutes, because I
I
think it was
think it
20.
might have been,
Because I
yeah.
remember them saying we go take this last 20 minutes and just talk. And so I think it was 20 minutes. And so I think, and that's what they did. They literally just was like, I
Let's
don't
just
want
enjoy
to
each
play
other.
against you. Let's just enjoy each other for these last 20 minutes. This is gonna be our last round in this game together. Let's just enjoy it. And I was like, oh wow. I honestly probably, if it was me and my sister, would have did the same thing, and we would have figured it out the same way. Like, who do we think has the better chance of making it to the end between the two of us? Who has played this game better than the two of us? Who has the most connections in this game? Who, because you can't, if you don't have the connections, you're probably not going to last very long. And so it's like, who has the best connection between us? Who can make it further? Because a win for you is a win for me. We all know this. Like,
Hmm.
we're siblings. So a win for me is a win for you. So who do we feel can win it? And I think that's how I would have decided. And that's what they did, which I was like, absolutely. Because there's no way I'm going to sit here and play my sibling. I'm like, one of us is losing, one of us is winning. We both win regardless.
Yeah.
So one of us
It
just go
is
home earlier.
it is a very interesting competitive mindset. I mean, we see the difference between like multiple different types of relationships. I mean,
Hmm.
Zoe and Kurt were like,
We're
no,
playing.
we're gonna play a game. We're gonna enjoy this because this is what we've done almost all the time. I mean, we see Jeffrey and Perla go, no, we're just gonna relax. We see Melissa and Eric, who've known each other for years, like just kind of talk it out for a little bit before playing a game. Like it is a very interesting scenario to kind of see all of these like last little bit of pre-existing relationships crumble because
Yeah.
after this game I don't believe there are any pre-existing relationships left in the game because
Yeah.
all of them get dissolved.
All of them, because they all went and paired with each other. So it was kind of like they had to, figure out what they were going to do. And some half of them were going to go. It was going to go from 44 to
Hmm.
22. Like half of these people were going to go. Um, we see Eric confide in Melissa and tell her that I don't have a kid on the way. That was a lie. And she took it very personal. Like, what? Why would you do that? Like, I, I, I don't, I don't understand. Like, why would you do that? And she's mad at him. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I expected that reaction from her when it came to him doing that because they're gamers. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I know the world they come from, and they are gamers. And so I'm like, sure, maybe I wouldn't have taken it that far. But once he explained it and why he did what he did, and he was like, listen, I did it because I needed to make those connections and I needed people to feel something for me. I needed these people to, to want to connect with me. And the sympathy card is always a good card to play if you want people to connect with you. And, especially in a game like this. And so for when he said that, I'm like, it makes sense. Now, I don't know if I personally would have said something like that, but I'm not, we've seen so much worse
We have.
in reality TV, in or shoot, heck, in orgs, just playing orgs in general. I've heard people lie about worse things.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
honestly, there's worse things said in truth on this season,
I
and we'll get to
absolutely,
that.
well, we
But
definitely
like
get to that. But like, yeah,
this is a. I mean, maybe it's because we're very used to all of this, and
we
like
could be
at,
jaded at this
at
point in
least on
time.
my end, like I don't have kids.
Right, me
I
either.
don't. I'm not going to become an. I'm not anywhere close to being like an expectant father.
I
Like
will
so
never be
so
that.
that doesn't really it doesn't connect with me. I think it's just something where it's like people see different lines as okay to cross. I mean, I've had this argument with people in orgs before where literally the last game I played, I was told you need to be publicly shown as rivals with someone. And because I pushed that narrative, someone actively stopped talking to me on the cast and full on blocked me. And it's like, yeah, no, I did what the game needed me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the methods I took weren't to your liking. And I can't, we all have different stops for moral boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
just how
Mm-hmm.
it goes.
It is. And I was very shocked. I was like, I didn't think that would be the limit. That would be the draw to go like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that or you did that, blah, blah, blah. Especially coming from gamers. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? For me, because like if I found that out about somebody, I would be like, oh, you are such a liar. But you know what? I understand. Like I understand and I get it. I wouldn't have been mad at it. I would have been like, Okay, you played a whole lot of people. Now we got to play each other. But I'm coming for you either way because
Hmm.
now it's me versus you, and I always choose me. Like I will forever choose me first before I choose you. So you're a liar. Yes, I'm not mad at your game. Like I'm not mad at your strategy. That's your strategy. I hope it worked for you. It worked for you up until this point. So good on you. But I was a little taken aback by her reaction. But I wasn't like okay mad at that. Like that was a minute thing.
Yeah.
But I was just shocked by her from her being a gamer. That was what shocked me that she took it that way. But like you said, everybody has their line of morality in these games. Kids, for me, since I don't have any and never plan on having any, it's never like that deep for me. It's like, okay, sure. If somebody wanted to lie and say they were expected parent and then they weren't, I'm like, okay, well, that they just aren't now. That doesn't mean that they'll never be an expected parent. That just means
Hmm.
that they aren't that right now. But it was interesting. But the marbles game goes off, and a lot of people, like I said, half the people are eliminated. And there were certain people who I was rooting to get eliminated and who didn't get eliminated. And then there were certain people who I was hoping would not get eliminated and did get eliminated. But
Yeah. I
we
mean
lost
the
Curtis or Kurt.
yeah.
We lost Kurt.
We lost Dimitri, unfortunately, which
Mm-hmm.
was rough to see.
Mm-hmm. We lost Peter. And I did not want to lose Peter to 98.
Yeah,
I did not want to lose Peter to 98. I was like, ah.
same here. He was just genuinely so funny. I mean, he's a professional comedian. He knows what he's doing, but at the same time, he's just good at it, and it's really entertaining. I would not be shocked if he just appears on another Netflix show somehow.
He just gives you, like, he gives me Pete Davis kind of vibes, just weird,
Yeah.
goofy, quirky, funny, but in a good way. So I wasn't mad at it. But he was also there to play the game. So I appreciated that. But he just, Mr. I'm a baseball
Yeah.
player, letting Mr. Baseball player pick the game would have been a no go for me. Like,
No.
no. I would have been like, I would have picked his favorite one. Like, let's rock, paper, scissors it. Like, because we heard that a lot in these episodes with that man, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about. I mean, we do begin to see a very interesting rise of a player who, I mean, now that we've had kind of the major antagonist in terms of lying out of the game, we have a
Mhm.
different major antagonist in terms of lying. Stephen Jones, player 183, is now
Mhm.
very much coming to the forefront.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a lot to say about Player 183. But yeah, they have they've stepped up a little bit. And I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about them, to be honest.
I I was on board with them up until basically the moment we'll talk about. And
Hmm.
it's not even for the direct reason, it's the indirect reason of like
Right, right,
it's like
right.
you did something right, but you were an asshole about it.
About it, right. Hmm. But before we get to that, after we do lose um half the group and we're down to 22, they go to the dorms and the next thing they have to do is pick hall monitors. Three hall
Hmm.
monitors. And so this stuff filled up because more than three people volunteered to do it. They wanted to go. Player 98 wanting to be one of those people. And the people were like, okay, well, we'll just vote on it. And they voted for who they wanted. And he said, no, no, that's not right. That's not what we're doing. I don't agree with that. I didn't agree with that. And they're like, dude, we all voted. We all voted. And he's like, no, let's just rock, paper, scissors. And they were like, no, we voted for who we wanted, and we don't feel comfortable with you being a monitor. And
And now this pushiness is really not helping. Like, it's like, oh yeah, so let's give the guy who's like aggressively pushing for hall monitor the fact of that, because obviously let's elevate the man who's going crazy, who's probably going to go crazy with power, a
right.
chance to go crazy with power.
No,
No,
no.
no.
They literally was like, we voted, we don't want you. And he was like, I don't accept that. I was like, what?
The fuck do you mean you
What?
don't accept that? That's not our problem.
That is not our problem. Like, hello. Oh, I wish we had that soundbite on this channel, but I we need to have the confidence of a straight white man. Like, I want to have the confidence of a straight white man because the audacity. How dare you go look at a group of people who are voting, trying to be democratic about it, and saying we're going to vote on who we want to be this, and they vote, and you look at them and go, "No, I don't accept that."
No. I could make
Me?
I could make a reference to something right now, but I don't think I have to.
No, we all know.
Yeah, no, we all know. We're
We
all
all
very
know
aware.
what you're talking about because
It's
that's the world we're
the
living in
parallels are
right
just a
now.
little. It's a
It
little
hits
too
too
easy to
close to
make.
home. It's hitting too close to home for
Uh huh.
me. Because how do you look at a group of people and say, no,
No, actually, your result doesn't count. I
doesn't
win.
count? It, yeah.
Okay.
But they tell him no. And he goes and pouts in the corner and gets in the bed and goes and lays down under the cover because now he's mad and he's pouting. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. But they do end up picking player 230, 327, and 410 as the monitors. And as privileges, they get luxury bedding and pancake breakfast and orange juice. And the orange juice is what tipped Trinity off because Trinity was like, oh, I love orange juice. I love orange juice. So I will drink orange juice breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I am just obsessed with orange juice. I love it. And I'm like, I do enjoy a glass of orange juice. I like a nice glass of orange juice. I don't know if I'm obsessed with orange juice, but I do like orange juice.
You know what? Good for him. Good for him for having, honestly, a pretty healthy obsession, of all things. It could be a lot worse.
It could be. It could be a whole lot worse. Like, yeah, it could be a whole lot worse. But, good. Good on him. Good on him. But they go and they have all this beautiful stuff, and people are starting to get a little bit suspicious of certain people. Now, here's something I wanted to mention. I'm glad I remembered it. Because we don't get to see a lot of the friendships forming a lot because there's so many people and they don't have time to put all the friendships forming in the show. But I always wondered how player what's the player 71 Perla
Hmm.
Perla and Zoe. I'll just say because I don't remember their number. But 369 and 71 because they were one of the few players there with family members still there, And when Perla comes back in from Marbles and when Zoe comes back in from Marbles, you can see them like go and bond and hug, and they're like, oh my God. And I was like, did they form that bond because of their family, relations in the game and that we just didn't see it? Which I love, by the way. I thought it was a great
Hmm.
little moment and I wanted to see more of that. But I was like, oh, okay, so they did because I wondered it. I wondered because I'm like, I would probably want to bond with the people who know exactly what I'm going through. Like, being in here with someone who you love so much, and you have a relationship with, like, you leave this game, you're going to see them again. Um, how you deal with that when they're not there, or when you have to be put in situations where they could possibly be going and you stay, or vice versa. And so I love seeing that bond when Perla walked in and Zoe went to her and they just kind of just hugged, and then to see afterwards that they were very close and they were like hanging out, and I was like, okay, so they did form that bond. I enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah, it one of the honestly more interesting things that comes up from the show just based on all of that is somehow survivor's guilt. Like
Yeah.
survivor's guilt is a very real thing that comes out of this game. We've seen it with multiple people. It doesn't shock me at all that both of them kind of like looked at each other like, hey, even in like this place where we're all experiencing these games all together, we both experienced something different than everyone else. Like they made friends here, they've known these people for like 4 or 5 days. We've known our partners for literal years.
Our entire
So
life.
I, I mean, it is really, really nice to see that bond kind of like form between the both of them and them both support each other through the portion of the game that they do get to play together. Like kind
Yeah.
of becoming each other's natural pair.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy seeing that. And but anyway, before we'll get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So after they get their breakfast and the luxury bedding and things, of course we know Squid Games is never gonna let people just be great and just be monitors for no reason. So they call the monitors down to the out to follow the guards, and they take them to the white room where there's a black box. There's just a black box in the middle of the
Just a
room.
black box.
And so they go to the black box and they are told as the monitors to nominate 3 players for elimination. And so, of course, player 327 is like, oh, I didn't want to do that. Then why did you volunteer to be a monitor? What do you mean you
Yeah,
didn't want that responsibility, but you volunteered to be a monitor? What did you think was going to happen?
you just got like some really nice bedding and some nice pancakes, and that's it. No, you just get a little reward as voted on by everyone else, and that's going to be the only thing that happens because that's how the show works. You should always know that power comes with
Power
perks.
comes with reward. Like every. I was just like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I'm like, girl, okay, anyway. Um, you didn't want to do it, but you volunteered. That's crazy. Crazy work. Um, but they do end up picking player 098, which I think was the no-brainer for all of them. I think all of them wanted to pick him, but they didn't want to say it first. Then they picked player 437 and 417. Now, 437 and 417 got purple edited for me because I don't even remember who they were in this episode. Well,
uh,
up until this episode, I don't even remember seeing 417 or 437 a lot.
yeah, I will tell you. So Kareem was one of the people chosen during Catch to be,
Yes.
uh, and Greg does not have a known last name on the wiki. So I do not blame you for not knowing who Greg is.
Well,
Just
then, Greg.
simply put, Greg doesn't have a last name. We know
Greg
nothing
is
about this man.
Beyonce. We don't. Greg is
Exactly.
beyond everything. Greg don't need a last name. Greg is Greg. Greg is Greg,
Greg
and
is
Greg don't need no last name. I love it. I'm here for you, Greg. I love that you don't have a last name on the wiki. You Beyonce. You don't need a last name. You're
mm-hmm.
Cher. You're Cher. We don't need last names. You're Beyonce. You're Cher. You're Adele. You don't need last names. What for?
Yeah.
What for? What? Anyway,
For what?
for what? Like. But they go and they are told they have to go to the chore room. So now everybody's thinking, oh, they just have to do chores. That's not bad. It's just chores.
Well,
Well, Julie, no, it's not just chores. So they go into the chore room and they also are presented a black box. They open the black box, nothing's in the black box. It's just a black box. And so then they are told that they are up for elimination. But the monitors are also told that they too are up for elimination. And one player has to sacrifice themselves. And if they sacrifice themselves for the team, then the other full team is now eliminated, and you are the only one eliminated from your team. And so here's when I started getting annoyed with player 327, as well as, yeah, well, 327 in this moment, or every moment after this one, is because now 327 is like, oh my god, I can't do that to my son. And that's when the weaponizing of her son starts to play out in this game. And it continues. And it
It
bothers
continues.
me. It
Yeah.
bothers me. This was a small infraction before I was like, okay, interesting. But she was like, I can't do this for my son. I can't sacrifice myself. And I get that. And I
That
get that. That I understood. Because it's like, I wouldn't sacrifice myself for these two people who I don't know. These two people I just met, for instead of staying in this game for the people who I came to play for. So I wasn't too upset, but I was like, but I noted it. I was like, oh, okay, but this is where it begins. Um, but immediately player 14 and player 230, because they were like, should we just do rock paper scissors? And player 14 was like, well, it has to be between two of us because we can't do her. She's doing this for her son.
which good strategy of basically making the decision go from
Three to
three
two.
people down to two people, because I mean there's a lot of ways to decide between two people very quickly who's going to do
Mm-hmm.
something if you want it to be random or strategic, versus three people, which we actively see them going like, oh, let's play rock paper scissors. Rock paper
Three
scissors
people
doesn't
can't
work
do it.
with three people, which just to be clear, it definitely does. It's just not popular outside the US.
It does work, but it doesn't. It's not beneficial to the time that they had because it was
Yeah.
really a race against time between that other team. And if that other team got through whatever they decided before them, it was like it's not conducive to time. So let's just knock it out and do it randomly to people and just do it that way. So 327 was safe. She was automatically safe. They weren't going to do that. And so they did rock, paper, scissors. In the other room, they decided to do 1-2, where you put your hand behind your back, and the two people who thought alike and the one person who was odd out, that person is going to be eliminated. Now, it would have been cool if they said, let's do it one time, but they were like, nah, I don't want to do it one time. We got to do it best out of three. So they do a best out of three, and it was like, put your hand two behind your back, whoever, one or two, come out, and whoever is the same, that one odd person out is gets the point, and eventually it comes down to player 230 and player 437. They both lost their games, and they both had to put their number in the box, and whoever put the number in the box first, that person was sacrificed and the other people stayed. And 230 puts their number in the box first, 437 later, and all 098, 437, and 417 are eliminated.
It is quite literally a photo finish, though.
Yeah.
If I remember right, 437 literally has the tag like
Or
basically touching the like slit in the box,
yes.
and then pop. Like
Yep.
it is. If they were faster, if they
Yep.
didn't argue for 2 more seconds, they would have survived.
Right.
So I mean, they said it was a race for survival, and they decided to slow down and argue for a second, and that cost them the entire thing.
Yeah. It did. But we see player 230 sacrifice himself. This is going into episode 6, by the way, when we find out he sacrificed himself and they're gone. Um player 327 and 410 are now told that they have to they have to choose a new hall monitor. And the new hall monitor must eliminate one player in the boiler room. They give them a token with a 10 coin token, and they have to eliminate somebody. Um, so 327 and 410, they choose player 409 to play, to be the new hall monitor, rather. And they have to choose the person, you know. So 409 gets come back in and they tell 409 that she is the new hall monitor. And then they secretly give her the coin so they won't, so she won't be, people won't be looking at her weird if she goes into the boiler room or goes into the, leaves the dorm. They do. I liked how they did it, so it wasn't she would be public enemy number one right away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so they do it and they send it, and so she has like I think she has a day or the rest of the night to think about it before doing it the next day. And she's just mulling it over. She has a few people who she was thinking about. Um, and she was just thinking. But then the next day, the next morning, player because a lot of people are looking at player 410. A lot of people don't trust 410. Some people now this is me personally. I think I don't like the reason why they were saying they didn't like 410. Some people they were like, he just seems like he has a hidden agenda. Like he seems too nice. And I'm like, some people are just nice. Some people could just be nice, but we're so jaded we don't think people can be nice in this world. And some people are just nice. And I do think he was, a nice guy, but I think he was playing it up so much that people started not to believe it. Which, hey man, in a situation like this, in a game like this, people are looking for reasons to not like you or not
Yeah.
trust you. And so I think that was his downfall is well, he was playing it up so much. I think and I do think it was him. I think that was who he is. I think that was his natural self, but I just think he just did it so much that people weren't believing it. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was kind of like, okay, well, what now? Like, what do we, how do we go, from here? But then he does something that baffled my entire soul and being. I was very confused because this man goes and he wakes up the next day and he pulls the two monitors aside and he said, listen, I had a revelation and I can't play the nice guy anymore. I can't look after people anymore. I could only focus on me. I have to look out for me. And so from this point on, I'm not looking out for anybody else. And I was like,
You just
what?
gave this woman a loaded gun, and you're basically telling her to shoot. What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing? You just gave her the easiest out of all. Jesus Christ.
I was like, what do you mean you're going to go tell the person who has the chance to eliminate someone that you are no longer looking out for anybody? Which leads to tell me, so you're not looking out for me either.
You're not. Oh, so
So you're no longer
me.
me. You're no longer an ally to me.
That's
Interesting.
interesting.
It was so bizarre. It was the most bizarro thing I've ever seen. And I was like, what do you mean? What?
Uh, yeah,
But
no, that just such a questionable decision. Obviously, I think this was just like a passing thought for him of like, hey, let me go tell people that like we need to really start thinking about how we're playing this game. But like,
Save those intrusive thoughts to yourself.
and and especially save those intrusive thoughts for anybody else, literally anyone else, where it's like, yeah, no, this might hurt in the future, but like it can't affect me right now, at least not directly. No, you're talking to the one person who has a kill right now that she can use at any point, that you are not going to trust her, and that you could take her out at any point.
It just felt so ridiculous. And I was like, what do you mean you are going to sit here and tell this person, oh, by the way, I'm only looking out for me? I'm only looking out for me. I'm not
Only
looking
for
out for
you.
nobody else. I was like, you could have those thoughts. I could feel that way. Like, yes, I am only looking out for me and me only for the rest of this game. But I am not telling a soul that. Because how do you go from being the nice guy looking out for everybody, blah, 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 and on a dime you switch and say, oh, I'm not looking out for anybody. It's just about me. And expect everybody to not go, what? What?
Oh,
So were
that's
you
weird.
faking this entire time? Was this all an act? So everything that people already thought about you, you just proved that they were right. And you know what 409 did? What anybody with a kill switch would have done.
Just been like, yep, okay. Well, you've made this decision real easy. Let me go pump in 410 real quick, and you're done.
And that is what she did. And he was done. I was like, why are you shocked? And why would you say that's a snake move? I'm like, bruh, you did it to yourself. You 100% did this to yourself because all you needed to do was sit back and eat your pancakes and be quiet in your luxury bedding and chilled. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all you had to do was chill. She wouldn't have picked you. You were not on the radar. She was trusting you. And you decided to open your mouth and let your intrusive thoughts come out and ruin your chance at $4.6 million. That is on you. She's not a snake for doing what anybody would have done in that moment.
You gave her a full out to do what she needed to do, and then she did it. It was genuinely that simple.
Literally. Literally that simple. And now he's gone. And I was like,
Oops.
well, so
Well,
well, Julie, it's just like, oops, okay,
whoopsie.
oopsie, I guess. But they're gone, and now it's time, and they don't waste any time. They're like,
Just
now it's
boop.
time to go for the next game. I was like, oh, they are not playing with y'all. They need to get look. Apparently, the rental for the dorm is coming up, is over soon. They had to get these people out in like 2 more days. It
Uh-huh.
was like,
They were like, we are sticking to our timetable. This was a cute little interaction. I'm gonna be honest, when we gave you this coin, we expected you to do it last night. So like
right.
today.
Today. We got a week left in this rental and we need to get everybody out of here. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get it out. But they go and they are introduced to their next game. The hall monitor split everyone up into teams of two based on colors in which they play the game. Um, they pick all these teams and then player 346 is left unpicked, but may swap with the player. And then he picks player 398, Trinity, and was like, because we don't talk. And I was like, okay,
Okay.
sure.
Sure, that's fine.
That's fine. It is what it is. You don't talk. And that's fine. That's fair. That's fair. So then 398 is left in the room, and that's all we see. They just left. They just left. They don't say
He
it.
he straight up just disappears.
It just disappears. We don't know anything. And so I'm like, okay. But they find out the name of the game is Snakes and Ladders, which I like to call Shoots and Ladders because that's the game I grew up playing. And I
Hmm.
love Shoots and Ladders, but for the name of this, Snakes,
It is slides and ladders.
slides and ladders, not snakes. I don't know why I'm saying because it says snakes here, but slides and ladders
Snakes and ladders, shoots and ladders, slides and ladders. You
is
get
all
the
the same. You
idea.
get the idea. At some point, somebody's sliding down either a slide or a snake or
Hmm.
shoot but and you will climb ladders. But the team must roll the dice to move forward the number of steps. There are ladders which advance teams, and then there are slides which each slide square having two, where one leads to going back to a specific square and the other leads to elimination. And then, in addition, they have chance squares, which allows teams to randomly draw a card for either an advantage or a disadvantage. And reaching square 42 will result in teams passing, and only 6 teams are able to pass. So we're going to break it down again into very few numbers. Um,
I will say,
mhm.
this is such a better way to do a large set piece game while also still using a luck element,
Yep.
because essentially the glass bridge is instead choose a slide, and I
Hmm.
think that works so much better.
Yes.
And especially over glass bridge, this game also has a really good social element, and we see those social bonds really start to work. So like, this is such a giant improvement over
Yes.
glass bridge in like
Uh huh.
so many ways.
Yeah. It was. I enjoyed this a lot. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching how they got eliminated. I enjoyed
Mhm.
the stress factor of it all. I like seeing the element, like you said, the luck of the dice, the luck of the die, and getting past and climbing up and sliding back down and making it in, and the social elements was so, oh, so good. But it also brought out some very ugly sides to people, for in my
Mhm.
personal opinion, that I just did not care for. And let's talk about it, because the red team goes first, which is player 183, and I don't know his number, but his name is Kevin
402.
402. And so they go first, and then behind them is Perla and Zoe, and they go and they roll two sixes in a row, and they end up on a chance square. And the first card is send one group to a slide. And so they look at it as like, these players are already on the board. And instead of making an enemy of people who are not on the board, I'll just pick these two who are already on the board. So they pick the red team.
Now, notably, this card has a very different instruction compared to all the other ones we see.
Mm-hmm.
The players must take different slides, meaning that
Yes.
it is 100% going to result in a player elimination. There is
Yes.
no question.
Right.
Which, for the earliest, well, for the set, for one of the earliest chance spaces in the game, they knew what they were doing, and it worked
Absolutely.
so goddamn well.
It worked out perfectly because it got drama, it got an elimination, it got bad blood between people. It made the rest, it set the tone really for the rest of the game and how people were playing, or how these particular teams ended up playing. Um it was wild. It was wild because player 402, Kevin, ends up going down the wrong slide, and they chose to go down the slide at the same time, which I kind of love that. And so player 183 stays, player 402 goes, and 183 is pissed. I mean, he's mad and he's like, revenge, revenge. That's all I see is revenge. And I'm like, okay. I mean, and I don't blame him for being upset. I don't blame
Uh huh.
him for, wanting to get your lick back from the people who came for you. Fine. Not mad at that at all because I would be the same way. Like I'm gonna get my lick back not only for my partner who is eliminated now, but for you picking me in the first place. We got to get the lick back, and that's my mentality until I get my lick back. But how could I put this politely?
The tact.
It's mm, it's the tact, it's the manner
Mm-hmm.
of how you went about it. Like I said, I don't blame you for wanting to get the lick back. You should want to get your lick back. Everything about this is like I can think, petty for a second. I can be petty if I want to be for a minute. I can be, very territorial of the fact that you came for me and so now I feel attacked and so I need to come for you. Absolutely. I have no it's the way you do it. And it's the way he was acting throughout. And I hate to say it and sound this way, but I will sound this way. And I'm going to say it. And if you're mad at me, I'm sorry. Not really. Um, it's some ways about the way men say things to people, especially when they talk to women. It always seems not, it seems when you're upset, it comes off very condescending, and it always, white men, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, but white men, y'all do this thing where you look at people like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna. And it always bugs me. It always bugs me to a point I'm like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, I don't know what I did, and you know what I did. I know what I did. She wasn't mad that you came for them. It was how you were acting the whole time. Like, it's game on now, baby. It's game on now, baby. Like, why are we doing that? And then when you do get your chance for your lick back, you take the lick back, and then it's like, why she crying? She did it to me. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? What is inherently wrong with you? Like it was, but you know what it is? And I realized what it was later on in the episode when we learned more about him. Because this man is a millionaire. This man has won poker tournaments where he won up to 6 point something $1 million already. He was second place.
And that's second place. Like
And that
first place
second
got a
place,
lot
12
more.
million, 12
Yeah.
million. Second place got 12 freaking $1 million. And he wins second place and wins $6 million. And I don't care what you say. When you are somebody who didn't have money, and you come into a lot of money, it does change you. And it
Uh
does
huh.
change how you look at things. And it is obvious that it has changed him a little bit in his air and how he thinks about people and how he talks to people. He feels like he's made it, which he did. He made it to that next level in the classism system that we've built. He is in that millionaire status, and good for you. But the way he was talking to both Perla and Zoe just drove me insane. And I was like, oh, this is you being very like, hmm, okay, I'm better than you. And you, because what you did to me, I'm going to show you that I can do it to you, but I can do it better. And it was his attitude about it. The rest of the game, it was just like, hmm, I don't know.
It was very I mean, it just was. It was to the point where I consider reality TV villains one way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can be villainous, you can make cutthroat moves, and all of that is fine.
Mm-hmm.
There was a line you cross to where you become a dick,
Mm,
and he crossed the line. He very much just made it uncomfortable,
mm-hmm.
and in a way that very much went past reasonably being mad. At that point, you were attempting to play a heel to the point where it wasn't fun because what you're doing is to a human. It's
Right.
not someone who's another actor or someone who's in on this bit. You're just doing it to someone to be mean. And you already got your lick back with Zoe going out here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you got what you wanted.
Yep. Not maybe
It
to the
went,
person you wanted. You maybe wanted Perla to go and not Zoe, but you got what you wanted.
and now it's 1-1, and now that's where it stops. Except that's not where it stops.
Oh,
And that's where you go from, like, yeah, you know what this is justified to. No.
okay,
No.
dude. Like enough is enough at this
Mm-hmm.
point. But then it does continue to trickle down into other players and other things because we see Perla again get another chance card and she has to send someone back to the start. Now, she could have easily said red, go back to the start, whatever. But she didn't do that because because at first she was like picking red the first time or the second time to lose, to skip a turn because she did have another chance card and he had to skip a turn. She was like, I used passion over strategy and that wasn't necessary because like she could have went for the orange team who was already at the top, let them skip their turn. They can't go, whatever, but she chose to be, she went and wanted to go back again. Now, do I think Perla played this smart? Absolutely not. I think she was very petty and very, instead of listening to strategy, she's played the petty role. Not go sit here and act like she played the perfect game and give her a pass on
No.
playing. No, she was playing an emotional game, and I think that was a reason why it took her so long to get to where she needed to be. But I think skipping a turn is not the worst thing you could do because it wasn't like you moved, you slide down a ladder or anything. You just waited another round to go. But she didn't get another chance card and she has to send someone back to the start. And two teams are at one level, and then the blue team is at the top. And she could have picked the blue team to go back to the start, but she was close to one of the people on the blue team who she considers a very good ally in this game. So she was like, I'm not going to do that to the blue team because I don't want him to go to the start. I do want him to continue in this game. So I'm not going to pick them. Um, and so the only option that she felt was necessary was picking the pink team, which was player 110 and 327. Um, because they right before that got a card that said they could use a card to skip a slide. If they land on a slide spot, they use their card. They don't have to slide. They just stay where they are. It's like a get out of jail free card. And so she picks them because she's like, they already have an advantage. They're already close to the top. They could use that skip a card when they get to that very top slide and they won't have to slide down.
Mm-hmm.
So it
They
was
they have a
strategic.
freer path. Like,
Right.
where Vanessa and Chris at the very top, like, they can still screw up. They can still
Yeah.
be sent to the bottom anyway. Kate and AJ here literally can't be. Because if they land on the slide, they instead say, hey, you down there, you're going on this slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said 110, but 412. It was 412
Yeah.
and 327. Sorry. Anyone.
The numbers are really confusing in this game. It doesn't.
Absolutely. But yeah, they did. They had a freer path And so she sent them to the start, which then Kate takes this opportunity to walk past Perla, and Perla saying, "I'm so sorry I had to do that." And she said, "Yeah, tell it to my son." And I was like, "What?" Hmm.
Genuinely, just like a oh, okay.
What?
Um, uh, 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 what? What did
What?
you just say?
Wow.
No, no, no. Once again, going across that lovely line of like a reasonable reaction to that, and yeah, no, no,
No.
no.
Because again, you're weaponizing your child for to guilt people into not targeting you or coming for you in any type of way. Did you think because you had a sick child that your problem is bigger than anybody else's problem? What? It mm. I was like,
Mm,
that's gross. That's like, what do you mean? Because okay, you have a sick child. I feel very bad for you. I do. I have very much sympathy for you. But I also am here playing a game for a lot of people in my family who are not in the best shape, who are not in their best way. We're not living our best life over here either. And and this is not. I hope this doesn't sound as bad as I think or what maybe, but she said it herself. This is a situation. The child, there's no cure
mhm.
for this rare genetic disease that's going on with her son. So even if you won the money, there's still no cure. You're still going to have to battle this. He still has to battle this thing his entire life. It might make it easier because you will have money to get the medicines or things like that. Sure, but there's still no cure. So you're still going to have to deal with this. So to make it like they're taking your child's life if you don't have this money is unfair and not right to everybody else. Like everybody else has an issue. Everybody who came there has a story of why they needed this money. Ex- I'm about to say nobody is not in need of this money except
Yeah, except the one man
the
who
one man who
absolutely does not need this
has
money.
$6 million, but everybody else needs this money for very different reasons. And it might not be a sick child, but it doesn't mean they don't have sick parents or sick or other people in their family who could be sick or might get sick or I'm. It's just I didn't like that. I
Hmm.
didn't like that at all. And you trying to guilt this person for playing the game. And when you just literally was like, it's just a game. You told her that like it's you playing with passion over, over strategy. It's the game. You have to think about the game. And she started playing the game, and now you're like, oh, tell that to my son.
It's all okay until it's on you.
Ooh, I didn't like that.
Very, very telling.
Oh,
I'll put it as telling.
that's a good way to put it. And I'm gonna leave it at that because yeah, I didn't like it. It was very telling. But the fact that both players 183 and 327 made it through before Perla kind of annoyed me so very much.
Yeah,
It kind of annoyed me so very much, but I was very glad to see Perla make it through eventually. And I was like, okay, okay, okay.
Perla did get unlucky a couple times where it's like, oh yeah, Green has the chance to bring anyone else to that space with them, and they bring Perla, only for Perla to hit the literally only slide between her and the end. Like that kind of scenario where it's just like, okay, well, there's nothing we could do there. We gave you a lead and it just didn't work.
It didn't work.
But
But eventually she makes it through though. She does go beat the odds that was put before her and she does make it through. Um the 383.
the eventual eliminations here are Justin Polioni 378, Emily Bowe 383, and Mackenzie Bellows 451. As her partner Drake Davis had already been eliminated via slide.
Yeah, Drake was the one who took out Trinity and took his place instead.
Yeah.
And he's gone now.
Whoops.
Oops. And so then we'll go into episode 7 because after everybody is there and you know we're just like, okay, next day, like I said, they're keeping it moving. They are keeping it moving. They're not showing a whole lot, some conversations here and there, but they're keeping it moving. We found out, we do see that it's just two men left in this game at this point, which was player 318 and 183, and then the rest were women, and they were all in there, and they're like, okay. So 183 trying to cozy up to 318. He's like, look, if I go, we got our last two men remaining, and this is something that we should, try to cozy up. He wanted to cozy up, but 318 was cool with 306 and 71, Perla and Deja. So he was kind of cool with them and Faith as well. And so they
Mm-hmm.
were kind of, had their little thing going on. Um, but they are now told to get ready for the next game right away. And they go to a room, and player 398 is sitting there. So Trinity did not go anywhere. He just got a pass from the game since he was not selected to play. He just got a
I will
pass.
note they really sold this to them in terms of
Yes.
Trinity is gone. Literally from the moment he doesn't get selected in slides and ladders, he is gone up until they go back to the white room. The final 10 were, excluding Trinity here, literally took a photo as part of Netflix production as a final 10 photo. They
Hmm.
sold them hard on the fact that Trinity was gone. But of course, they never announced Trinity was gone, and they announced basically everyone else was gone.
Everything. Yep.
So,
Because that's what I was literally like. Where is player 398? Like, we just did not see it. Like, they didn't say he was eliminated. They didn't show they didn't, like, the doors didn't close and he got the nothing. Like, what
mhm.
happened to player 398? And I was saying that as they went into the next game, like, this ain't right. Because where's 398? He just disappeared. We're not going to say nothing else about him. We don't talk about him no more. He just left. And when they opened the door, I was like, there is 398. I was
Mhm.
very happy to see Trinity back in this game because I'm like, he's not here because somebody swapped him out and then that's just it. Like, that's just it.
That did inherently feel like okay, that's an interesting decision. But I mean, I think if it was purely the monitors determine it, then the other person would have been eliminated. Because
Hmm.
it's just like, well, you got left out. But no, this person was actively taken out of a position. So it only makes
Right.
sense.
I'm very glad that he was still in the game. But they come in and they have to sit in a circle and wear blindfolds because now it's time for the circle of trust. We saw this game last season, and it is an interesting game to have. Um, you sit in a circle of chairs and you wear your blindfolds. When one player is tapped on the shoulder, they have to take the gift box and place it on another player's table. The chosen player has to guess who gave it to them And if they guess correct, the player who gave it to them is eliminated. If they guess incorrect, the player who is given the box is eliminated. And I was like, oof, this is the game that scares me so much
Mm-hmm.
because I like to go with my gut and have good gut feelings, but I don't know if I know how to read people that well. So I'm kind of like, that scares me.
This is just a rough game in terms of like how everything is going to be determined. Uh, I mean, obviously, if you get selected first, you have 10 options.
Yeah.
The odds that you are going to correctly read one of these 10 people without one of them breaking or doing something super obvious is so low. So the correct option here is to just not be selected. Pray that you
Right.
don't get selected. Cause like, oh,
I,
it did not go well.
you want to be so obvious that people like this person and this person are beefing. If that person gets picked, it's obviously that person. That way, that person won't ever pick you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I think that's one of the better options to have people feel like they can't pick you because if you get picked, they're gonna know it was you. And so, or hopefully your number doesn't get pulled where you have to select anybody. And it's weird, but we see this happen. And so the first person who has to go is player 327. 327 gets selected to go. And so she picks it up and she puts her box on oh, I forgot what player she put it on. Who did she put it on? Who did she give it to?
Let
Oh,
me
one
double
ten,
check
110,
here.
110,
Yes.
110. She gave it to 110. And 110 is just like, and okay, maybe it's who what they're showing us because, and maybe people don't see it when they're looking, but like for me watching, I was like, certain people just look guilty, but maybe that's because they're showing it to us and we're seeing it,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't put it past that. But it was like player 327 just looked guilty to me. And like I said, maybe it's because we know it and we saw her do it, but I don't know what player 110 was seeing. But she's just like, but 327 was looking very shifty, just would not look. And it was like, I would never do that to you. I would never do that to you.
It was such verbal deflection. And I mean, granted, 318, her eventual choice, is like very publicly, you choose me, you go home, to the point where it's like that's kind of overshadowing it. So it's still determining which verbal deflection is actually true
Hmm.
versus actual deflecting. But yeah, no, she really was like the first one to speak up and be like, wow, I wonder who it could be. Wow, that's crazy. It's so crazy that you got picked. Wasn't me, but like I wonder.
Right. It just, like I said, it could be just because we saw it and we know it, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't do that for every round. They didn't show us who got picked and who was, for every round. So some of it was like we had to guess ourselves, like who did it and who didn't. And I
Mm-hmm.
liked that because I was trying to guess along and see if I could read a room and see who was doing it and who I felt was guilty. But 110 guessed incorrectly because she guessed 318 and he didn't do it. So 110 was gone. The next
Mm-hmm.
was player 409 got selected to with the box, and she thought that it was 183, and it was not 183. It was 412, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, AJ,
Interesting.
interesting. I didn't expect that from her." So 409 is now eliminated. The next one was Faith, 361. She got the box. And
from Steven.
from 183, which, oh, God, I was hoping. God, I was hoping.
Yeah.
But she was looking at 412. And the crazy part is, player 306 knew it. Player 306 was on it.
Perla was as well, 71. She was like,
Yeah.
it's him. Like, this is obvious. Please select that man.
I wish they would have just said it. I'm like, because I think she would have trusted her friends,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they were scared that they could be wrong. And if they were wrong and it sends her home, they didn't want to say. Because like 306 was like, I don't want to make the decision, but I don't think for she was like, well, who you think? And she was like, okay, go with your gut. Just figure what your. Oh, I would have been like, girl, no. Like, here's the thing. I'm gonna say what I think, and either you can trust me and take that or not. But whichever you do, it's your decision. And I don't want you to be mad at me if you take my thought and it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got a feeling. I would have said it's like say something, and if it's wrong, baby, if I win this game, I'm giving you some money. Like if I win 4.6 million, you getting at least $2 million because I was wrong. You getting two, you getting
Yeah.
two. I'm gonna hook you up, but I just believe, I believe, and it would have been so right. It would have been such sweet justice for me to see this man get
Mm-hmm.
it and knocked out. But she picks 412. She picks AJ, and she's wrong. So Faith is out. Um, and then next is AJ gets the box selected on. No, was it then? Was AJ next? I think AJ was
Uh,
next. Oh no, it was
there's
318.
one in
318.
between. There's one in
318.
between that. Yes.
318. Yeah, 318 gets the box. 318 gets the box. And he picks 327. He thinks it's 327. After he gets his long story about his grandmother and how they didn't get to with his kids, he wanted to pull at the heartstring. He was using the same tactics as Kate in this moment to try to weaponize the kids and why people will pick them. And he wanted to see who would break first. And I was like, sir, um, that's not going to work for you because unfortunately, two things are working against you. Number one, you're a guy. It's unfortunate. This is the reality of the world. The sad sob stories don't work for men as well as it works for women because women just have to cry. And you're a Dominican or black man, or Hispanic or black man, or a person of color.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that you're a person of color, and a man, it's not going to work like it works for white women in this world because that's just the world we live in and the society we're living in. People trust white women tears over any man tears, and especially men of color. It's just the world. It sucks, but that is the world we are living in. And it wasn't going to work, and people weren't going to be moved. They're touched, yes. Moved to give up their oh no. No. Moved to give up their spot? No. But touched like,
No.
oh, that's sad. That's a sad story, and I hope, everything works out for you. But he tells the story and he picks player 327 Kate, and he's wrong. And this is where I was like, oh, AJ. Oh, AJ.
AJ has been a stone cold killer. She's done really, really well.
Stealthy. Stealthy. Like you said, stone cold. I was like, whoo, okay. And then AJ's number gets pulled. I mean, then somebody puts the box on AJ's desk.
Steven's number.
Steven. Steven gets AJ. And I was like, this is probably the smartest move for him to make. He could have either went for her or player 17, Vanessa. And I think it would have been that outcome. But he went for her and she didn't think he did it. But you know who knew he did it? Again, player 306.
Mm-hmm.
Deja was locked in on that man, clocking his moves every time.
Went from smiley to serious. Like, she just.
She just, and here's the thing,
Queen.
I did not know she was a cop until this episode.
I think she's an investigator, not a cop.
She was a cop first. She said she was a
Oh,
detective
really?
first, and
Oh
now
my god, okay.
yeah, she was a detective for 7 years.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, I did not know she was a cop right away. Like, she didn't come out the gate saying she was a cop or in law enforcement or anything. But we didn't get a lot from her story anyway up until now. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. But her detective skills are on. Like, she was good. I was like, oh, work. She has moved in the runnings for me as who could possibly win this game. Watching her in this game, I was like, oh, she could. She could
Mm-hmm.
possibly. If she gets through the rest of this stuff, she could possibly win this thing. But she clocked him right away. But AJ didn't. And she thought it was who did she say? Who did she pick? Did she pick 17?
She ends
No.
up picking three. She ends up picking Trinity.
Trinity, yeah. She picks him. And she picks him and she's wrong and she's out. And then they say, players, the game is over. And I was like, wow, I thought we were going down to 5, but we're going down to 6. So 6 players pass the circle of trust. It was wild. I was like, okay. But after circle of trust, a lot of people's trust has been broken or never really had trust to begin with. And it's just like, now they're just not even going to act like they like each other at this point because player 183 Steven and player 306 Deja are having a standoff, if you will, a little bit on the beds with Trinity sitting in the middle, like, because Deja is just like, because Steven admitted he got rid of Faith.
For some reason. Why? Like, of all people, you could have admitted you got rid of AJ without any problem. You admitted you got rid of Faith, who's like 3 people in here at minimums, like good person.
Right.
Once again, questionable decision making when you could have shut up and said nothing and been in a better spot.
You could say nothing. But she knew it though. And she knew you did it. And you knew she knew you did it. And she's just like, and you tell her that. So now she's like, okay. I mean, I don't know why he told me that. Because now it just gives me the ammo and the fire to get rid of him. It's just making me want to get rid of him
Mm-hmm.
at this point. And so he's just like, but she also clocks him for the AJ, and he's like, I didn't. Well, who did you get rid of? And she's like, I didn't do any of them, which she didn't. We didn't see her put a box on anybody's, as far as we know. We didn't see her do anybody. And she was like, I didn't get picked. I didn't pick anybody. So he's like, I don't
I was
believe
going to
you.
say, it would be hard for her to be lying about that, honestly, because there would be one less person in that room if she did.
Right.
So
The numbers say she's telling the truth. The numbers
Uh-huh.
are saying she told the truth.
But the difficulty of it is obviously that AJ is gone, who, I mean, it is a bit of a statistical anomaly that out of 11 people in that room, only 3 people got to ever place a box on someone else's desk. It's never actually said, but like, and obviously, 2 of those spots will never be accounted for.
Right.
So, it's just naturally going to cause a lot of doubt.
Yeah. And he didn't believe her. He was like, I don't believe you. She's like, I don't care. Believe what you want to believe. I didn't do it. But we know what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just staring at him. And he's like, why are you looking at me that way? That stare down had me cackling. Honestly, I was laughing. Because she was like, I want you to feel uncomfortable. Do I make you feel uncomfortable, Steven? And he's like, I mean, he didn't like when she was like, mm-mm. And she was like, because I know what you did, whatever. And he was like, again, this whole, oh, I don't like when people try to act like somebody's being so aggressive to them. Like, why would you do that? Like, she
Mm-hmm.
talks with her hands. She literally was like, no, we're not doing that. It's not that deep. But some people take it as, oh my God, that's so disrespectful. It's
It
not that
just,
deep.
okay.
It's not that deep. It's never that deep. But for some, it's just that deep because now you're being super aggressive to me. I was waiting for him to call her aggressive, honestly. Like, why are you
Uh-huh.
being so aggressive towards me? I was waiting on it because he was just like, I'm like, what are you doing?
This is what a man can do when he already has 6 million in the bank from playing poker. Which, just to be clear, I would like. That would be a lot of good money. I would like to
Mhm.
do that. That sounds fun. But that's a lot of emotion from someone who will be financially fine after this game, no matter what.
Right.
It's like, if you are not even potentially doubling your net worth by winning this game, what? How? Why the fuck are you here?
And the confidence that he has, where he is now able and feeling like he could just share this information because he tells Kate,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I won second place in this poker tournament and won $6.7 million. And she's like, wait, how much did you win? If you didn't win first
What?
place, you won what? He was like, no, 6.7.
6 point. Yeah, it just like.
What? I,
And immediately she goes like, "I don't want to play with you anymore." What?
why are you
Why?
here? Because everybody else is here. We struggling. We trying to get this money so we can do something. And you already have that. And you probably doubling it as we speak when you're here. Like your money's doubling itself. Probably if you invest it correctly, you probably getting more money on top of the money you already, like, why are you? And I was just like, you just felt so confident in just saying that and telling people that you felt so comfortable. Like that would go with to my great, like the same thing I said about 410. Keep those thoughts to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Keep those, you don't have to tell everybody what you're feeling in your head. Like keep that to yourself. And after the game is over, I'll be like, by the way, if I won this $4.6 million, this is just going into the bank account with my 6.7 million that I already had. I would say that after I've won. Why would you say that in the middle when there's so much game to be played? But it doesn't even matter in the end. It doesn't even matter because they are now going to play shuffleboard and they have to split two groups of three. And we saw the divide. We saw what was going to happen. We knew what was going to happen. Um, Deja and Perla were always close, and they were tight. They trust each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trinity. was another one. They all were like, look, if one of us wins, we I will be happy because they want a black millionaire. That will be great. Cool, whatever. And then um Stephen and Kate were like, we would probably go, it's just us. And if we bring in Vanessa, that will be great too, because then we'll have, because we don't trust those other people. We trust each other and we can probably semi trust her. That'll be a thing that we could do that would work, blah, blah, blah. Um, sure.
Sure.
Uh, sure. At this point, I'm like, I'm not surprised at anything that's happening on both sides. It's like, okay. When they say they have to split them down the middle, 3-on-3, um, Vanessa and Trinity is like, well, what do you want to do? And then Vanessa says, well, I'm sure you probably want to come over here with Deja and Perla. So if that's what you want to do, then I understand. And Deja and Pearl like, well, you don't want to come with us? She was like, no, it's not that. I just figured this is what he would want to do, and I'm fine. I'm like, y'all just say it. Y'all just split it down, racial divides, because you know each other feels more comfortable with each other, and that's fine. It's what it is. At this point, it was a thing that was going to happen. It would have been nice if it wasn't, but it was. And they do it. So Trinity goes with Deja and Perla, and Vanessa goes with Steven and Kate. And they're going to play shuffleboard, but they find out they're going to play against each other. So the first three goes, which is Deja, Perla, and Trinity. Trinity shuffles. Look, he shuffles his board the least amount of space, because if they cross the line, they're immediately eliminated. And so his is the shortest distance, so he is still up for vulnerable to be eliminated.
Hmm.
And then on the other side, Steven and Vanessa does theirs better than Kate. So Kate shuffleboard, she shuffles hers the shortest as well. So she is still vulnerable. So now it's Kate versus Trinity in the final push. And Jack, this could not have been any closer.
It genuinely couldn't have been. I think maybe there was what, a fourth, a fifth of a puck difference. It was minuscule.
It was so close. I was not sure how it was going to go. And I'm sitting here watching like, oh, I think it's Trinity. Oh, I think it's Trinity. I
Hmm.
think Trinity's short. I think Trinity's short. I think Trinity's short. And so when they're standing up there and we get and it's Kate, I was like, oh,
Oh.
gag. Because I seriously thought it was Trinity. I was 100% sure it was Trinity. I was like, Trinity is just a hair short, I think. Methinks it's a hair short. But it wasn't, and it was Kate. And I was like, dang. Mm.
Well, I do think it's so I don't know where your mind was with this, Lana, because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously first they bring out these five boxes and
Mm-hmm.
everyone assumes it's the tuxedos,
Tuxedos.
but then they have them split into groups of three. Going through that, like, where, if you were like in this situation, what would you think would be happening? Because it's like, okay, but there's five boxes, but then
Mm-hmm.
that could be a trick to be like, oh, well, we're actually going to play a 3-on-3 game and best team
I,
survives. Because I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have thought 3-on-3 game. I would have thought, but I would have thought it was going to be a game. I was like, it's going to be a game, and one of us are about to be eliminated. Now, I wouldn't have thought shuffleboard, and I wouldn't have thought a 3-on-3 that way, but I knew it would have been a game. And the last time, I would have thought about last season. I'm like, are they going to do the dice game thing, or the game with, they had to roll it and
Mhm.
in that circle and somebody's gonna go. But I didn't know. I didn't think shuffleboard. Didn't think 303. But I knew a game had to happen and one person was gonna get eliminated.
Yeah.
But I was confused on what that game was going to be. Was you without shuffleboard at that point?
I I don't know if I would have picked up on shuffleboard specifically. I would have thought something weird was going down in terms of like I don't know. There's just something off about this whole scenario. I would have thought it would have gone down to a 3v3 game. And it's like
Mm,
either you are going to face someone from the other side and the loser's eliminated, or you're going to fight as a team and one of you will be eliminated and one team will be eliminated. I
right.
did
And then
not
the three
expect for
go
five
against
people
each
to come out of
other.
this.
Like the
Yeah.
three, like the teams go against each other. One team is eliminated. Well, then, but that would make sense because that wouldn't bring the five boxes.
Uh, at this point, they can throw whatever boxes they
Or the
want.
winning team survives, and then the lose they go team versus team. The winning team survives, and they're automatically going to get a box. And then the three go, and then the one person in that next heat, whoever loses that heat will lose and
Yeah.
go.
I mean, there's a bunch of ways to break this down. So I don't blame them for breaking it down how they did. It just is like, for like a last minute, like, oh, so we're about to play another game right here in the dorms. You do not get any time to prepare for this. It's just here we're going now. One of you is not leaving this room alive again. It's just like, okay, great. We're
Right,
just really crashing towards the end of the game now.
right, right. But that was how that finished, and 327 is gone. They all do get their box. It is the tuxedos. They're all in their tuxedos getting ready for the final game and the last supper. And everybody's excited. They're like, I want to dress like this forever. I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
deserve this. This is the final stretch. I'm excited. And we see them walking into the finale area for the last supper. Um, and apparently we get the previews. We find out they're going to have to do something, make people do things that they don't want to do because we keep hearing, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I wonder what that last game is going to be. If it's going to be like the last game from last season, or is it going to be a new game or new version of that same game? What is going to happen? But we also see on the previews what, because not everybody's going to make it to the final challenge. They're going to go from five to four, and it's going to be a final four instead of a final three, which I'm like, okay. So they're going to have a final four, and she's back. She's, and y'all
They
know
were
who
all.
she is.
It was honestly a matter of time. They
Yeah.
just needed to figure out a way of how to make it so that they didn't have as many loose ends to tie up. So,
And I think it's better to have it at the end than at the beginning because, like we said, last season it was so much drama behind that and so much that went that went into that. It would have been, it's much easier to do it with four people than it is
yeah.
with 400 and 67 people or 36 people, 57 people, 56 people. You know?
My guess is it's going to be some sort of like round by round elimination game or something similar. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like kind of the pacer test from like various high school things where it's like get across the line in a specific amount of time and then just keep going back and forth and back and forth, but potentially with a stop element where it's like, and you can't move right now.
Yeah, it's red light, green light, but in a very much more um interesting fashion. I wonder if they're going to do it just like regular. You get across first, that person wins. But I don't think that would be fair. I feel like
Mhm.
it has to be heat or it has to be like one person is eliminated, they don't get across. Okay, go back and do it again. Like you said, like do it more times than just a little bit. But who knows? Who
We
knows?
will see.
We will see because next week is the finale. We get one episode next week, and it is the finale. And Jack and I are going to be right back here to talk about it. Also, there is a vote out there, y'all. Who do you want to see come back next season? And there is a vote out there, and there is a link. I'm going to put that, make sure it is in the description below on this. You can go in there and vote for the player you want to see come back next season. And the vote, they will have a final vote on November the 18th. So you should go out there and vote now and often for your person, because the top five are going to have another vote. And then that top five is who we're voting for. And I don't know about the rest of you, but you should be voting for player 100.
Probably 100.
Hello. We should vote for 100. I voted for 100. We want to see Mark come back and get a second chance and not be bullied around this time, and not lose on catch. So let's vote for player 100. I'm going to be an advocate for player 100 here. If you don't want to vote for player 100, that's choices. But if you do, go vote and vote option for player 100. Vote for player 100, or go vote for whoever you want. But we'll put the link in the description below. I'll make sure that is up there in there so you can go and vote for the player of your choice, 100. And we would love to see something come back next season. So I'm excited. You're excited, Jack, for the finale?
I am very excited. This is a very interesting pool of final players. I will say there's basically one person I don't want to win, and everyone else would be fine with.
So,
So
so who let's do this. Let's do this. Who's winning, Jack? Who's your winner pick right now?
I think out of everything we've seen, Perla is the most satisfying winner.
Yeah. For me, I want to see Perla win this game. I think my winner pick, my heart pick is Perla, and I love that for her. But I honestly could see Deja winning too,
Hmm.
because this season has done something very different than they did last season for me. Last season, I kind of figured out very early who was going to win this game because of the edit that they gave her. Even though great winner, she did really good. But towards the end, like when it got
It
down
was
to
so
this, it
obvious.
was obvious it was going to be mine. This season, I don't think it's that obvious who's going to win, but I think it's obvious they who's not going to win, because if that person wins, it's very unsatisfying.
There's two people at this point in the final five somehow that have essentially gotten no edit,
Mm-hmm.
which is so confusing storytelling wise that like it doesn't make any sense. But all it's basically done is tell me, yeah, that person's not winning. I can kind of just like rule them out.
Mm-hmm. But
So
I would love to see Perla win. I think hers is the most satisfying for me to win this. Deja would be the next for me, and then Trinity will be the third. My in that order. Vanessa and then Steven. In that order. That's my ranking. That's my
yeah,
order who I would love to see it from most satisfying to least satisfying.
on my end, I think it's Perla, then Trinity, just because we've seen him like essentially be in a lot of scenarios where he could have gone and just continue to like
Okay.
survive really well. Then Deja, then Vanessa, and then I'm
Way
not
lower
even
down.
gonna. And then Steve is physically there.
He's there.
He's
If he
not on
wins,
my
it will
list.
be the most unsatisfying victory and all of TV for me.
It's
I would
like,
be.
okay, great. A millionaire won another million. That's
I wouldn't even say great. I wouldn't even be like, okay, great. I will rage, like turn off, like be
hmm
so upset, like slam my iPad down, like ah, like I would be mad. I literally would be mad if that man wins. I'm gonna be honest. I would be mad if that man wins, but regardless, we're gonna be here to talk about it next week. Who, no matter what the outcome is. So if Steven wins, just expect a very mad Lana, a very
hmm
dissatisfied Jack, and we'll talk crap about it for however long we feel like talking crap about it. But if anybody else wins, then we'll have it'll be much more pleasant. It'll be much more pleasant. But we will be back next week to talk all about it. And we do appreciate you spending your time with us. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. We are on a mission to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year, and the end of the year is almost here. So we would appreciate your support if you haven't done so already. If you have, thank you. We appreciate you. Um, Follow us on this channel, all of our other channels, at the Cup Pod for all of your drag or drag race needs, at the Cup ESC for all your Eurovision Song Contest needs. It's about to heat up over there because Juniors is about to start and Canada is about to start for Drag Race channel. So we got a lot of content coming out. Content on the drag channel is a constant, it never stops. And the
hmm
Eurovision is definitely happening. And then, of course, here we have a lot of content coming out on a regular basis as well. So join us on all of our channels. Subscribe to all of our channels. All the links will be in the description below in our link tree, as well as our audio podcast links, because we want to be wherever you are. So take us with you. Follow us on our audio podcast links. Join our Patreon. We got a lot of fun things going on in our Patreon. Uh, if you're into movies, if you're into competitive reality shows that maybe didn't last as long as we wanted them to, we got some series going on in our Patreon that you might want to get a look sees to. So join our Patreon. We got a lot of fun things going on in there as well. You can follow us on all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow Jack and myself if you'd like. And then you can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Link is in the description below. And on that QR code that's right over there, that's been there this whole time, swirling above Jack's head. So you can scan it, get it, love it. And I would love to see you get your very own cup mug as well. And Jack, that's going to do it for us. We're going to get out of here because we got a lot more things to do. So,
we have so much more on our docket today, so we got to get out of here. We got to go we got to go first relearn English, but then prepare for the finale. So
absolutely.
we'll see
Absolutely.
y'all later.
We'll see y'all next time. And we're gonna go work. You just watch another video. We'll see y'all next time. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.